And that was wide receiver Ryan Flournoy. That's how you say his name. Now, when we go look at that list and when we go look at, historically speaking, late round picks, Ryan Flournoy, 6'1", 202, ran a 4.40 at the combine. You look at wide receiver and DB is where the most success comes at in that 6th and 7th round. And again, the bar is really low. Noah Brown, Ced Wilson, they lead the way here. They've only drafted 3 wide receivers in the 6th or 7th. Under McClay, 2 of them have hit. The other one's to be decided in Jalen Brooks. I think that's going to be a fun battle in camp. And again, like I said, guys, the bar is really low when it comes to saying Brown and Ced hit, but that's just where we're at here in Dallas. But Flournoy definitely has the tools to be intrigued with. He was the only FCS player to be invited to the combine, and he came a long way to get there. He was a no-star recruit right out of college, no D1, right out of high school, had no D1 offers, eventually went D2, battled some injuries in a canceled COVID season. Then he transferred to community college, and then he transferred to FCS SE Missouri State. So, he didn't necessarily have it easy. But like I said, there are things to be intrigued about when it comes to the tools that he has, the physical ability that he has. He went to the combine. It wasn't just a 40 impress. He had 11 foot broad jump, 9.88 RAS score. So you say, okay, does that athleticism translate on film? And it absolutely does. He's a strong wide receiver. He knows how to use his body. I said this when we did the mock, and he happened to be mocked here. He always seemed to be available for his quarterback when things broke down. Per our guy, Dane Brugler, he said his coaches and teammates have said he refuses to be outworked, and he does a ton of yoga in his training. So it's a guy that loves the game and puts in the work. I like that. That's a guy I can get behind to draft and develop, because that's the key word, the word develop. My expectations for him early, or for you really, should not be that high. We're talking about, go look at the data, go look at the player, but go look at the landscape into how he got here. We should just be hoping that we can develop him. And honestly, I think it's worth taking the time to develop him. We're talking about a guy who could fill a spot potentially, right, if he develops, opposite of CD. We don't have a future X wide receiver. He has the prototype size to do so, the strength to do so, but we're a long way between 6th round pick and starting wide receiver 2. He spoke at camp, rookie mini camp, I should say. And he had this to say in regards to what he's looking forward to when the vets get here and picking up some of that terminology along the way.
Just learning a lot from, the guys in my room and guys that, honestly, I compete for a spot with them. Learn how they do things, how their routine is, and just learning, honestly. Yeah, I went D2, JUCO and FCS, so it's a lot different. And, for me, it's a joy. It's joyful, like learning it and like being able to say, dang, I'm a professional now, not an FCS receiver or a JUCO receiver. It's a blessing for sure.
That last part is key because we saw the struggles that Jalen Tolbert had, coming from South Alabama and having to learn, an NFL playbook and terminology. It took him a bit. We'll see how long that may take. It may take Ryan Flournoy, but like I said, physically, he's extremely gifted. Now, he is a bit of an older player at 25. But when we look at Ryan Flournoy, I think the hope is that, can we get our next Ced Wilson? Look, again, the data's there. I'm not about to sit here and act like a 6th-round wide receiver for the Cowboys I'm all of a sudden going to believe is going to turn to the next Des Bryant. I would love for that to happen. But I would love if he was just the next said Wilson. And you can say, well, Scott, that's an extremely low bar. Well, I present you the data. How many wide receivers are the Cowboys drafting that late and they turn into anything more than said Wilson? None.